everybody, welcome to Hockey SKATEDOWN. Before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers. If you want to join our hockey team, it's free. Click subscribe with the notification bell to all. Thank you all so much. Let's get started. I want to do a video on the Vancouver Canucks. You know, I said to myself, whenever their season ends, I want to do a video on them because they really impressed me and all the fans around the NHL how good they really are and how good they can be and what they really proved to everybody, just how the way they played. You know, they showed how their young talent really shined. You saw how good Pettersson really was. You saw how good Hughes was. You saw what Boeser had to offer. And you saw a lot of key players step up. You know, Motte stepped up and had a couple of big games where he scored some key goals. You saw what Miller added to this team. And I've said that from the beginning. I love what Miller adds to this team. I'll get into him a little bit more later. You've seen Horvat really step up and play awesome, score some big timely goals, really lead this team. You saw Demko come in and save this team when they were down and out against the Knights. You know, he made some key saves. He shined. He just shined. And he made some huge saves, kept the team in, and they were able to get to his Game 7 and just lose by one unfortunate goal. But then, you know, the empty netters. But, you know, they lost by one goal. That game could have went any other way. You know, Vancouver, you know, the Knights really showed that game that they were the better team. But, you know, Vancouver just is a good team. They really are. I think they're going to be better as the years come on. I think they will eventually hoist the cup. I really do. I think they have a lot of good pieces coming up in Podkolzin, Julevi, whenever he can make the transition. You know, Hoglander. They have a couple of key pieces coming in the next couple of years and add to this team. They have a lot of question marks on what they're going to do going ahead. You know, they have a couple of UFAs to decide on what they're going to do. You know, they're up against the cap this year at $83.9 million, as cap friendly shows now. So what they decide on who they're going to bring back, who they're going to sign, you know, really, they really have to make some key decisions. I know they like Toffoli. They like what he added to this team. And, you know, it's going to be hard to keep him and Boeser. So the rumors of Boeser will circulate again, I'm sure. And will they move him, gain some assets to sign Toffoli? We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But he's a good young piece to this core, Boeser. He really is. You see the way he plays off of Pettersson and Miller. You see the way he adds what he does with this team. A quick shot. You know, he plays physical, adds grit. You know, you saw how really good players are. And I'm out east. I don't get to see Vancouver on a consistent basis. I see them on highlights and whenever they play our local teams. But you know, watching these playoffs, you could really zero in on players and see how good they really are. Like Pettersson, I always known he was good, but I never got to see how they just constantly zero in and hit him. He just bounces off those checks and scores. The way he could play the front of the net, takes hits and hits and hits, and what does he do? Tip in a deflection goal. The way he can just blast off the one time really quick. And I'm talking about not even putting the stick up too high to take the shot. His release is quick and it's hard, and it goes straight to the top of the net. So this kid's got everything, you know, stick handling ability. You know, he's got edge work. He's got high hockey IQ. Harder than you think to say. He's good in the corners. This kid's just phenomenal. He really is, and he's a player that this team is going to build around. You know, you have Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes is just a sensational defenseman. He really is. You saw it during the season how well he is at putting up points and how smart he is with the play. And he really shined these playoffs as well. And again, he's another player that they went to zero in on, hit, try to take off his game. And what did he do? Roofed shots, perfect shot selection to the corners of the nets. He thinks the game quick. He's a smaller defenseman, but you see the way he uses his body against bigger guys. He's quicker to get to the puck. His stick work is a lot quicker than the average person, where you can use it to get around the player. His shot selection is just phenomenal for anybody who's in front of the net to get rebounds or to try to score. He's got a rocket of a shot from the back, and it's something you don't get when you look at him, but when you see him play, he's just a phenomenal player. He really is. So you got two gems in just those two. And, you know, you saw what Demko had to offer. He really shined. You saw Markstrom play well, but he unfortunately got injured. So you know you have a good 1-2 tandem going. It's just Markstrom's one of those decisions to make as he's a UFA. You got good pieces coming up in Podkolzin, in Julevi whenever he can make the jump, Hoglander. So there is a bright future to this team, and you know it's right now that's happening. And you know, I thought key veterans on this team. You saw what Horvat had to offer. He really scored some huge goals during these playoffs. Really was a force during a lot of the games. Miller just showed what he was acquired for. You know, bringing that point, he could bring in points. He could add to the point production of this team. Put up what 70+ points. He adds that physical, gritty game. He's a smart player, and the player that you see in Vancouver is the player that the Rangers wanted and Tampa wanted, but they didn't get that sort of player there. But I don't know what it is about Vancouver. I don't know if he loves it there, if he likes playing with this young core. He's just such a great player for this team, and he really shined in the playoffs as well. So you had a lot of players stepping up in these playoffs and key names. So that's always good. You don't want to get those players that just show up during the season and don't show up during the playoffs. So Vancouver had a lot of players step up, and they looked phenomenal, and they proved how good they really are. You know, my thing is, what are they going to do when the offseason rolls around? Who are they going to keep? You know, you have Toffoli, who really worked out well with this team. He's a key UFA. I know they like him. They want to retain him, but, you know, they're at $83.9 million now, so they're going to have to get down to 81.5. So some players are going to have to go, and some players, it's going to be a tough decision on what they do going forward. You know, Besser was a rumored name to be moved. They may try to make some trades to make some cap room. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But Tanev is another name they wanted to keep on defense, but, you know, his price tag may be a lot to bring back. Fantenberg, Markstrom just showed how good he is as a starting goaltender. You know, I wouldn't throw all my eggs in the basket with Demko now. He had a really hot run in this playoffs, but Markstrom's your guy, and Demko is a solid piece as a backup until he really develops into a starting goaltender. RFA's Virtanen's a name that they'd like to keep around. Tyler Mott really stepped in these playoffs. He really scored some big timely goals at key points, played a good all-around game, and, you know, hopefully they could bring him back on a good new contract. Gaudette, McEwen, Stetcher. So, you know, they gained good experience with this whole situation of what happened. I know it sucks you guys and girls couldn't advance, but the thing is that they gained some really good experience. I remember when I'm a Devil fan, so I remember back to 93, 94 when we lost to the Rangers in the Eastern Conference Finals. It was a good, solid playoff run for us where we gained experience, where we gained the know-how of how we have to play, what it takes to win. So that's what Vancouver's going to gain going into the next year. And you never know. We won the Cup the following year. Can Vancouver win the Cup the following year? Have to wait and see what they do, what they add. And but they have right pieces that are here for this team. They have a lot of key names that stepped up in every single game and played their hearts out and showed how good they are and how good they are as a team. So they really impressed me. They really impressed the hell out of me enough to want to do a video on them about this, to talk about them, because I like what pieces they have and what they have coming up. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Comment below what you think about this. As always, thank you for your time and watching. Please smash that like button. And if you haven't done so, subscribe to the Hockey Skate Down. Join the hockey team. Have a great day. Have a great night. Take it easy.